chapters for you too, lots of handouts for you.
With the Citrus Valley Association of Realtors, as with some associations across the state and across the country, we have a full-time person doing government affairs. I'm that person. We deal with local, state, federal issues, regulations that impact your ability to sell real estate or to stay in business. Now, a little bit of a background. You're going into what, and don't laugh when I say this, is considered one of the oldest professions in the world. We go back more than 6,000 years. You can find that people were involved with a piece of property. There was a buyer or a seller. There are always issues with property. So about 800 years ago, at least in the Western culture, English common law started to evolve different ways to record property, to organize it so that you didn't have fights. Of course, across the globe, as we know, what are most wars fought over? Property. What is the way in America most people have made their wealth? Property. So it's very, very important. And because it's important, there are always officials, local, state, or federal, who want to do something with it. And that'll be the case forever and ever. So my job is to look at all of these things, see what we can do, come up with positions, work with our partners at CVAR and NAR on a lot of these issues. We don't always get our way, but we try. There are issues that we've worked on just in the last year alone that have made it better for you. There was an issue we worked on earlier in the year. How many here, you all know what an FHA is, right? Federal Housing Administration? Well, they were proposing, members of Congress, that anybody who had an FHA note would have a premium placed on that note, an extra percentage. And that money was going to be used for roads and highways. Now, what is the nexus between a home and roads and highways? Nothing. But the members of Congress told the realtors, well, we can't go to the election when we're going to be up having raised taxes on gasoline. We promised never raise taxes. So we're calling this a fee. So what do they ask? They ask the local associations, Citrus, and many others across the state and the country, to get involved, to start calling our members of Congress, to start visiting them. That's what we did. 21% of the Citrus Valley Association of Realtor members actually called their members of Congress on this issue. Members of Congress were telling NAR to shut the phones down. There were too many people calling on this issue. Guess what? We defeated the issue. We made personal visits. Well, you can call. Why do you make a personal visit? Because we're all creatures of the savannah, right? We're social creatures. We need that interaction. So I'll sit down with a member of Congress or their staff and talk about the issue, but it's not just me alone. We bring our realtor members from that area, a few of them, people who are known in that area. That makes a difference because they know if you're the realtor, there are probably 10, 15 other people you're talking to every single day. They know that you're talking to your office, right? So that helps us. At the state level, we defeated something that really would have hurt your industry, our industry, my industry. The state of California didn't think it would hurt them, but it would have. We defeated a professional services tax that was going to be 5%. So when you think of all the services, you're selling that home, the one that we had up here in Cerritos. Well, you know what? You need some paint. So the painter comes in, 5%. Well, I need a housekeeper to come in and clean it up, 5%. I need the tree trimmer, 5%. Oh, well, there's a little leak in the roof. I got to get it repatched and redone, 5%. Then your services alone would be taxed at 5%. Why would we want to do that? Well, the state needs money. We defeated that bill. At the local level, about a year and a half ago, one of our communities put on a parcel tax. Do you know what a parcel tax is? It's a tax specific to a parcel of land, as defined by that city. Sometimes they're specific only residential or industrial or commercial. In this case, it was very, very clear. It was every parcel in the city, and oh, guess what? The only people who could vote on that are people who are registered to vote in that city. So if you owned that parcel and you didn't live there, you had no right on what was going to be done. They wanted $100 a year for a library. Now, realtors are not opposed to libraries, but why should the person who owns this piece of property pay for that social good when many of the people using it will never pay for it? We defeated that because it was wrong. We said, if you're going to do this, have it broad-based in the community. One group shouldn't pay for something, and there was no proof that they needed to do this anyway. So we work on a lot of those type of issues. We do it by building relationships. We need to know who those council people are. Maybe not every one of them. We know the key players sometimes. Everybody knows in a community there's one or two council members who kind of influence the others. You see that everywhere you go.
The elites. The elites.
But there's always one or two council members in a city who kind of have a little more say over the others, or they're maybe more pro-real estate. So we try to work with them and then branch out to the others. Our members of the Assembly, the Senate, Congress. We know most of the ones in this area, and in the Citrus region, we deal with 10 members of the Assembly, 6 members of Congress. We have 22 local governments or unincorporated communities we deal with in a 2-county region. So we've got to really know who these people are. We build the relationships before we need them. Now, why do I, as a government affairs director, want to build a relationship with somebody before we need it? Because it's important that when we go to that city council or Sacramento or Washington, that we know who these people are. If you're the newest senator for the area, hello, Senator, how are you? We're with the Realtors. You've never seen us before. You don't know who we are. Who are you? Why are you here in my office? It's very different than if we walk in and say, oh, Senator, how are you? Oh, yes, it's great to see you. Because we've built that relationship. That's important. That's part of what I do. I can't do it alone. We need the help of our realtor partners who are members of the association. Not every association does that, but we do. The other thing, and CVAR and NAR have a really stringent line on this one. We are not partisan in government affairs. We do not care whether they're a Republican or a Democrat. We look at, you saw earlier there was something up here about Realtor Party. That's what we call it. Are they part of the Realtor Party? Are they people who care about housing, about land use? Or are they people who don't care about it? And it's both sides of the aisle. We can go and meet with, and I'll give you an example. There's a senator in Rancho Cucamonga, Mike Morrell. He's a Republican, long-time real estate family, 3 generations. Some of our members remember doing deals with his mother. He is very, very, very pro our industry. He's very strong for us. When she was in the Senate, now in Congress, Norma Torres from out of Pomona, a Democrat. If you were to look at their voting record on real estate, you couldn't tell who was a Democrat or Republican because they care about the industry. So we don't worry about whether they're Democrats or Republicans. We worry about whether they're going to be there for us. And we need to work with people who have key votes. We understand fully that in California, you have the vast majority of the elected officials at the Assembly and Senate are Democrats. So we work with those who are key leaders. We also work with our Republican friends because they have to influence people too. It sounds easy, it's not. It's building these relationships. The other thing, and it's a benefit to you having a full-time government affairs director, is when you see an issue in a community, we can go to work on it. We had one of our members call about 2 years ago, the city of Claremont. He said, you know, they only allow 2 open house signs. I said, I know that it's been in their code since, I think, the 50s. He said, well, do you think we can do something about this? I said, well, you're very, very well known in the community. Some of you may know Paul Steffen, Willer Steffen. He said, your family's been in this community about 4 or 5 generations. I said, let's go sit down with the city manager first. We did. He says, sounds like it's a good idea. Let's see what we can do. We sat down with one of the council members who knows, Sam Pedrosa. Sam and I sit on the Gold Line Authority. In full disclosure, my other world, I'm a council member of the city of Montclair and I'm appointing the governor to the state water board. But we sat down. Sam said, it makes sense. What can we do? 4 seemed reasonable. That's what we were able to do it. Because a realtor member called us and said, there's a problem. But it's got to be a real problem. We can't solve the problem if you have a client who has a home with a dairy preserve in Chino and it smells because of cows. I actually have had calls to the office from Realtors who said, what can we do about this? I'm selling a home. My client doesn't like the smell from the dairies. Can't do anything about it. The other ones who called and said, there's noise from the airport. Can you do something about it? Planes are flying over this client's property. Guess what? I can't do anything about the noise from the airplanes, can I? If they're in the flight path of the airport, that's where those homes were built. I can make a difference though, if somebody says, well, you know, I've got a home here in the dairy preserve, and my neighbors who are next to us, they're doing things that are completely in violation of city code. Yes, then we can go in and do something. So we try to advocate, I don't want to take up all the time, on a wide variety of issues. You are getting in real estate, I mentioned this yesterday, something to remember, because many times things change. We go back at least 6,000 to 7,000 years with land. And I always remind people, sines incinerum, pulvis in pulverum, in Latin. But in English that means from ashes to ashes, from dust to dust. 200 years from now, as wonderful as this campus is, it probably won't exist in this form, but the land will. When you see the NAR building, there's a slogan or a quote on there. Under all is the land. Under everything is the land. It's been here from the beginning of time. It'll continue to be here. And you are selling that. There's a limited supply of it. We're not building any more land, are we?
Nope.
There's a limited supply. You're selling that. And we just need to remember all of that. And I'm going to run out of time. I could have gone on another hour or two. But thank you. And if you have questions on government affairs, let me know. Thanks.
Now, Tracy's going to tell you a couple things about education and things that we're doing.
Thank you. I'm not going to scoot up there. It's not going to take a lot of your time, but I just want to let you know, as future realtors and future, hopefully, members of the Association of Realtors, we have a lot of events that are going on at the association. And one of them is the end of summer bash. The professor just gave you guys a copy of the flyer. That flyer, you could meet your future broker there. That has a lot of opportunities to network and talk to some people in the industry. We have a lot of events on our website. You don't have to be a member to check those events.
I'm going to show you where they are. So
Oh,
you're
okay,
talking,
yeah.
I'm going to bring that up.
While I'm speaking about that, Barbara's going to bring those up. We have a bunch of events that you guys can go to for networking opportunities. This event is right here in right in Rancho Cucamonga. It's $10. And again, there's going to be food there. And if you're under 21, you can't drink, but there will be some drinks there and lots of good food. And all of our events are pretty much spectacular like that. We offer, and some of them are free, some of them are not free, but these are great opportunities for you guys to come out and check out our education. We have classes going on, as Barb mentioned earlier. Some of them are free. You're welcome to come in. I'm fairly new, so I don't have business cards at all, but on our website, that information is right there, and you guys can log on and register or contact us, and we'll register you, and hopefully we'll see you guys at this event, but we will definitely see you at the field trip on the 21st.
And if you go to that event, remember, it's important to talk to the people who are experienced in the industry.
Right.
If they've been into real estate 6 months, that's great. But the person who's been in for 16 years probably has a lot more to offer you. Now that evening shows you how busy we are in government affairs. I normally attend these, I won't be. We're partnering with the Glendora Chamber of Commerce to do a candidate forum for the 48th Assembly District. So we'll have both candidates there so that they can do a town hall, talk about their status and their issues. I don't want to run over time, but that gives you an idea how busy we are as an association.
Events calendar. Either drop down menu right here or here. You can find it right here. If you look and click on any one of these links, for instance, next week, it's going to tell you end of summer bash. If you want to see it right here, if you want to register to go, you can do it right from there. But all of our events and classes run the same way. You click on the link under the date that you want to attend, and you can register right there. Okay?
And I'm sorry to cut into your question, but at the event, there's not just realtors there. There are escrow companies, there are lenders there,
stagers.
there are people, stagers for your properties. There are people there that offer new client gifts.
You have raffles.
There you go.
This is free.
Home inspectors,
The food is
that's
free, there's a
really
$10
important.
entry to get in, but it's free, everything is free.
Right.
By the way, at these events, it could probably maybe help you with your group project if you're interested in interviewing some of these people or getting their contact to make that interview
Oh,
for your group
definitely.
project.
Yeah.
And also, September 21st, like I said, after class, September 21st is a Wednesday, so you're not in my class, but I expect you there by 1:30. The address in Glendora is on the site. If you need it, I guess I'll announce it again on Tuesday.
But you can always call the association, let us know that you're the students and you're coming over on the 21st. We'll be more than happy to give the information and whatever else you need, but you'll be able to see where we are, what we do, how we function, and,
Why are you guys ready to leave? We got till 1 o'clock. We still got 4 minutes.
I have another class.
But for the summer bash for $10, you
Yeah.
can't go to a restaurant, even a McDonald's, and get what you're gonna get here
Right.
with food
Claros.
and drink and the network of
Claros?
people who will affect
What?
your future career.
Oh, I love flowers.
I do too.
So you're gonna go, right?
I'm going.
Okay,
Italian
good.
food.
I'm going.
You're gonna pay for a wonderful
Yeah, I'm
professor.
missing out.
Oh, you got
We all know
You all chip in, I'll chip in $1 and take Professor.
Kendrick, I'm going.
Let's thank them for their time, and you guys have a good weekend, all right?
I'm